Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Scraplift Crafternoon. We are scrapbooking a pretty good friend of mine, the scrapbooking nerd, and we chose this beautiful layout of hers to scraplift. I am also going to be working on day 24 of Scraptember. I'll put those prompts up here for you to look at. Day 24 is something that you have hoarded. And I have been hoarding this piece of paper since I received this kit in July of 2022. And I'm going to use this for my background for this beautiful layout. I have my photos, I have some sequins, some cork hearts, a partial title, a couple of chipboard pieces, some die cut pieces, phrases, some alphas, some scraps from the kit, lots of little bits and pieces of ephemera, this piece of pattern paper. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk about what we're going to do. Now, she did a lot of beautiful mixed media on her layout. Her layout is just gorgeous. I am the one who chose it, and I just love it. I loved everything about it. But I am actually going to use this piece of paper for my mixed media. I may add some ink stenciling on here, but we'll see. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use a stencil that I have. It's a sunburst stencil, and I don't currently have it out on my desk. But I'm going to use it to draw the lines for that beautiful stitching. And yes, I will be stitching this piece of paper. And I will probably add my holes and then do maybe a little bit more mixed media in similar colors. So of course it's not going to look just like hers, and I'm going to be trying to cover up this part here. I know it's beautiful, but it absolutely does not go with the photos that I have, and I don't have any desert photos at all, so it'll be nice to get this piece of paper out of my stash and into an album. So I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to get some stenciling started so that I can get those lines and holes poked, and I will be right back. I know that you can barely see it, but I did get my holes punched. I did use my sunburst stencil as a guide to create those radiating lines from a center point, and actually my point is off-centered. So now I'm going to add some inking. I decided against the stenciling, and I'm just going to use the packaging technique to put a little bit of ink on here. I have one distressed stain, and then two very old sprays that I have put on my glass mat. And I'm just going to kind of randomly put some of these splotches on here. At first it looks really rough, but once I get all of my layers onto this layout, it really looks nice. Y'all have to trust me on that, because I know it looks kind of splotchy and right this moment, but it does end up looking really, really good. I think the stress stain was tattered rose or spun sugar. It's a very light color, and it looked really good on that lighter pink at the bottom of the pattern paper. Now I will be twisting this pattern paper on the side, so its orientation is not going to end up the way that it looks here. So what you see me doing now is adding a few splatters to the background before I put any layers on. There will be more splatters at the end after I get my layers on, but I wanted to get a few of these on here now. So I did allow my background to fully dry before I did any stitching, and as you can see, I alternated a back stitch with a fancy stitch. I have a close to my heart ruler that has stitching guides on it, and that's where the fancy stitches came from. There's a scallop stitch. I'm not really sure what you would call the other stitch. Depends on how you look at it. It could be a squared off scallop, or it reminded me of like a heartbeat that you see on a heart machine. Anyway, back to the layout. So I matted my photos onto one of the pattern paper scraps from this kit. This kit, by the way, is a July 2022 hip kit. and it was very, very themed. It was Western themed. And I have had a really hard time using it because I don't have photos that match a Western theme. Products are amazing. Everything is beautiful, but again, I just had a really hard time using all the bits and pieces. So I'm kind of thrilled that I was able to pull all of this out and get it onto a layout. I used my branding strip as that anchor point that the originals creator put on her layout. I think hers was a piece of washi tape, but I used a branding strip from my background paper just to get it used. And I've layered up all of the ephemera. I did pull in some floral ephemera. That ephemera, the floral pieces, were actually print and cuts from my Cameo, and they appeared, I believe, in my May counterfeit kit. And I just had a few pieces left over, and they were sitting on my desktop, and I thought, well, they're the right colors, and I will just try to use those up. So that's what I did. I know that my title isn't currently straight. It will be straight when I get it on there. I'm just kind of getting an idea of where I want things to go. So next, I went ahead and I pulled some labels from my label binder for some journaling, because I wanted to make sure I got journaling on my layout, and you'll be able to see the journaling and the close-ups at the end of the video. I have already cut out one label. Here is the other, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew where those labels came from. They are printouts from Illustrated Faith. I also wanted to add a few enamel dots, and those came from a Freckled Fawn kit. I believe it is the July Freckled Fawn kit. It is almost gone. I dug into it right away and almost used all of it. All right, I finished my layout, and I did some splatters with this Distress Oxide spray. This is Kish Flamingo. I love how when they landed on the pattern paper, they landed with a darker outline around the dots. That's kind of cool and unexpected. I got everything glued down. I put some foam adhesive behind the hat and these two flowers. I did use liquid glue to glue down my cork pieces. I did pull in a couple of labels for my journaling. I don't think the original layout had any journaling on it, but you know me, I like to get it on there. And I have the year, but I'll have to go in and write the month. It's either August or September of that year. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to stop by my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. Click that thumbs up button below if you've liked this video. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe, and then make sure that you click that bell so that YouTube will notify you when I put out new content. I strive for 2 to 3 videos per week. This is part of the collaborative playlist for Scraplift Crafternoon and Scraptember, so make sure that you check out both of those playlists below, and you have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.